Hello, Internet. For my very first upload, I will be demonstrating an opening build order for the Coalition faction in Homeworld Deserts of Kharak. I think this is one of the best multiplayer RTSs I've played in a very long time, and I've noticed some people having issues with matching their opponents' production and resource capabilities. So I wanted to make this guide and upload it to make this game a little bit easier to approach for new players. Hopefully this helps people out, and if it helps you out, please let me know in a comment below. I'd really appreciate that. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll explain some things about this build. Now, first of all, this is a very economic opening, but due to the tech timings, it has the potential to adjust to early aggression from your opponent. There are a couple details about how the build is executed that are important to follow in order to make sure that it is both economically optimal as well as survivable. Now, the very first thing that we're going to do when we load the game is immediately allocate salvagers to the orange resources and queue up 2 more onto the blue resources. The orange resources are always going to be our priority for this build because those are what allow us to grow our economy. So immediately after queuing up our first 2 salvagers, we're going to wait until we hit 600 construction units. We are not going to start the research yet. We're going to wait until we get 600 so we can start our first support cruiser. Now, the reason for this is that our support cruiser takes 60 seconds to finish construction, but the research only takes 30 seconds, and mining 300 resources also takes approximately 30 seconds. So you'll see this line up quite nicely here in just a moment. Once we hit 50% production progress on our cruiser, we will gain 300 resources and we can start our light assault vehicle fabrication. And there it goes. All right.
Fleet Group 5 assigned.
So as soon as this production cruiser or support cruiser is finished, we're going to move the carrier to the next resource location, and we're going to leave the cruiser behind at the current one. And this is very important because it reduces travel times between the carrier and resourcing locations. This helps the build remain optimal and safe, essentially.
Now operational.
Now we're going to start up 1 more salvager, set a rally point here, and as soon as this is done researching, we'll begin armored assault vehicle research, and then we'll queue up 2 more salvagers.
Steady base.
I'm using F3 here to select idle salvagers.
Take us out. Power to idle. What do you need?
And we'll go ahead and get started on these resources right away.
Secure PDA for move.
Yet again, we're going to prioritize the orange resources.
Salvager ready.
Now, as soon as we get our 3rd salvager out here, we're going to yet again save up for another support cruiser. And that should happen here in just a couple of seconds.
Carrier copies.
And there we go. Now, you'll notice that we are at 25 logistics out of 25, our cap. So instead of putting down a logistics beacon right away, we're actually going to wait to start our carrier production upgrade. Now, this is important because while we're constructing our support cruiser, we can't build any units anyway, so we may as well use those resources to increase our production. We're going to be getting lots of resources with this build, so we need to make sure that we can spend them. Now, as soon as we get enough money after the support cruiser, we can go ahead and put down a logistics beacon. And now the AI is going for an early rush, but you will see I will adjust this build in order to deal with that. I'm going to get armored assault vehicles out in response to this, and this is not too dissimilar from what a player might actually do. Now, I'm going to adjust this build and move the carrier a little bit back towards my resources, so my armored assault vehicles will be closer to the point that I need to defend. And since we have 2 production slots at the moment, we can go ahead and start making salvagers right away.
Armored assault online.
All right, now we've got 1 salvager out. Go ahead and make another couple of salvagers.
Vehicle is taking fire.
Move and engage on site. Attention.
And as soon as we can, we'll want to go ahead and upgrade our carrier production.
Hostile strike craft down. Salvager copies. Displace of that CU.
And at this point, you'll want to finish saturating all of your resource points.
Live feed is being uplink. Watch your monitor for changes.
And that means one more salvager in this case. And there you go. This is the opener build. It is now complete. We are able to move out into full-blown armored assault vehicle production if we want to. We can tech early air. We have a variety of different options open to us. And this is the most economic way to open as Coalition. I hope this helps people feel a little bit less intimidated by approaching the multiplayer of Deserts of Kharak, because it is really a wonderful game, some of the best multiplayer RTS gameplay that I've experienced yet. Oh, and before I go, I'll go ahead and provide another tip. If you're dealing with early aggression that looks somewhat like this in a multiplayer game, the best thing to do is drop smoke directly on top of your resourcing operation. This will prevent the opponent from gaining line of sight on your salvagers and your production cruiser, and this will give you a lot more time to go ahead and kill whatever it is that's harassing you. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Good luck, everybody. I hope to see you out there playing Deserts of Kharak. It really is a wonderful game, and it's good enough that it motivated me to make this upload and encourage more people to get into the multiplayer experience. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.